Now, I started to wonder whether the truth movement was just a government hate campaign. You know, it raises awareness, all of these terrible things that are happening around us, the corruption and the lies and things. And there's a lot of truth to those lies, but you know, the truth about lies doesn't get us very far. You know, we want to be true to ourselves, you know, we want to be true to each other, honest, honourable. You know, so when a truth movement, for want of a better term, obviously we can dispute the term, but the whole thing is about raising awareness through, you know, shouting about different things and getting angry about different things and hating the government, hating politicians, hating the elites, hating the bureaucrats, hating, you know, and it's almost like the truth movement, you know, in the public, the actual this celebrity kind of, you know, alternative media, mainstream media, whatever, you know, there's certain people who represent what we see as, say, the alternative media or the truth movement, you know, but it generally shows contempt and vendettas, you know, all the film, even the you know, the films and stuff, they're all based on revenge and hate and trying to bring down this government and, you know, to, I don't know. And then you look at like the alternatives, you know, philosophies, anarcho-capitalism and anarchy and agorism and setting up communities and stepping out of the system, all these different like things that people are looking into. You know, basically it's a response to being raised in basically an evil system or a satanic system, you know, and we don't feel comfortable with that, so we feel like it shouldn't be this way. But all the anger and everything's just clouding everything. We think we've got rights and everything, but from who? From where? We think, you know, our lives are our own, but the language we speak is inherited. The system that's raised us and made our world and that, whatever it is, whoever it is working to some degree. Otherwise we wouldn't be here talking over the internet, would we? You know, so I'm kind of getting frustrated watching people talk hypothetically about new systems and how this one needs replacing and fix it, it can't be fixed, and how, you know, there's nothing we can do. But I think people are just getting the wrong idea. You know, I say this is our government. You know, if you don't want to include yourself in that our, then go ahead. You know, it's maybe not yours, but I say it's ours, you know. Because it's like a child, it's like a obstinate, like, little child that you'd rather disown, but it's your child, you know, it's our children. We can't disown any children, you know, stubborn or as brattish as they may be, or as, like, you know, lying and cheating and whatever. It's our children, you know, it's our people, it's our families, you know. So I refuse to just sit around and ponder new systems, as good as that may be, to gain a better understanding of what this system should be. But I'm not hoping to try and bring this government down to eventually replace it with another system of anarchy or whatever. You know, I consider myself somewhat of an anarchist. I don't believe in rulers, but at the same time, if I see somebody who needs guidance, needs help, needs governance, needs leadership, whatever you want to call it, somebody who needs help, I'm not just going to walk away and say, sorry, you should be an anarchist like me. Learn your own rules. You know, it might be like a child. So how can we expect other people? We can't force anarchy or force freedom on others. We can't force others to be leaders, especially when they haven't got the competence. We need to rise up like men and women and stop saying, oh, everybody should be a leader. No, if you're a born leader, start being a leader. Stop trying to step down to make others equal. You know, try and step up to the mark. Be a good leader. You know, at first maybe people say, oh yeah, but you just want to order other people about. No, I just want to get order. And some might see that as wanting to get control, but I'm not forcing anybody to join me or listen to me, and I'll listen to other people. So there's always case for leadership, but I can't take somebody into my life and lead my life, but I can choose somebody to follow if I want. So this is the whole concept. People are trying to abolish leadership, stop people from using power, stop people, so that we're all just disempowered. It's a stupid kind of notion. It's a stupid notion to stop evil people being evil. The non-aggression principle only stops good people getting angry now and again. And so I'd say the non-aggression principle is a great idea, but I think that the people who listen to would heed that should every now and again get angry, because you need it in life. Especially when you need to defend somebody, then you might need to use physical force. So all of these principles are okay, but in actual fact most people live by these principles anyway. And those who don't are not going to listen to some kind of seminar or learn it from some sort of book or whatever. What are we trying to hypotheticalise about? We've got a fucking government, we hate it, we love it, whatever. We shouldn't. We should just see it as a system. People are paid from the tax money to administer that system. Those administrators are not the government. The government it doesn't exist, so it shouldn't even be the government, it's just government. And when I talk about government, I talk about all of the world's governments, because they've all been put in place for man, which means that man is above all government. But you can't just take my words for it and say, if I'm above government, then I can do this, that and the other. No, you have to think about it, you know what I mean? And too many people are trying to find proof in books of a procedure that's only found in the heart. So other people will find it easy to get through life, easy to break those little rules with a smile and without aggression, without anything, without force, without using legalese, just simply by being nice, by being human. Because there's an angel inside everybody. There's a demon inside everybody. So if you want to wake that demon up, then you're going to get demons on you. If you want to wake the angels up, you're going to get angels helping you. Metaphorically speaking if you want, energetically speaking if you want, legally speaking if you want. If you respect other people, whether they're in the job capacity or whether they're in the private capacity, whether they're entertaining their family and friends, or whether they want entertaining or listening to. We have to understand that there isn't just a one-size-fits-all state. It's the ultimate statism. And we all want to live freely without having to worry about what we're supposed to think. Because everybody, let's face it, you've all say it, we're all anarchists in a way. We don't believe in being ruled. But there's certain times where we're happy that somebody's driving that big vehicle or somebody's flying that plane for us. Sometimes we're happy that we actually can do things for each other. And so that system, what we call out, is actually made up of us. And then you tell me it's not our government, but it's the one that it's actually, we've looked after each other through that system since day one. I can understand people, wanting to dismantle and destroy the government, take out all them politicians and everything else. I think everybody who works in public places, I think everybody should be held accountable for their actions, no matter who they are. Especially those in public services. I just don't see I don't see the sense in sitting around hypothetically talking about new systems when the one that's established now is so deep under your skin that you can't even see it. You can't even discern the obvious trick behind it and falling for that trick. And that trick is hating it. Love it or hate it, it's worship. But it's just a system. It's just a system. And there's people who are loyal to it, people who believe in it, people who don't believe in it, people who worship it, people who live and die for it. Doesn't matter. You take it for what you think it is. But if you want to see it as an enemy, then you've got it as an enemy. If you want to see it as a friend, maybe you can turn it into a friend. But like all good friendships, they need a hell of a lot of work. Friends are it's not just easy to have a friend. It's not easy just to have a family member. We all have our differences, you know. You have differences with our parents or our children. We have those parent-child relationships. We have that same relationship with the universe or with the unknown. We have that same relationship with the government hanging over our heads. But when I talk about governments, I don't just talk about one particular government of a nation, because I don't believe in nations. Nations are like little gardens. You know, I believe that we all live on this planet Earth together, and we're all here to help each other. And we may talk funny, we may talk different, we may have different languages, dialects, accents, expressions, but at the end of the day we're all human beings. We're not pieces of paper, but the paper was there to serve us. The machine was there to serve us. Electricity was there to make our lives better. Running water. You know, all of this was to make our lives fruitful. We don't need to save. We're not on this planet to save. We're not on this planet to preserve anything. We're here to love it, to enjoy it, but not to misuse it. You know? And so it's ours. We just need to know what ours means. You know, this forest, it's ours. It's mine. Well, what am I going to do? Cut it down and put it in my garage? Put it in my lock-up, in my attic? No, it can stay here, where it belongs. It belongs here, I belong here. You know, so ownership and belonging, you know, we need to just understand what words mean a little bit more and stop jumping to this conclusion that that we deserve something out of life. I don't know, you're just going to have to listen to what I've got to say, because the rest of them, the truth movement, stop moving. You know, there's some good alternative media shining light on stuff and transparency going on, and it's essential that we know why we're fighting. Let's say we're fighting the government. Yes, we're fighting the government, if you like. We're fighting to get it back. I am. You know, you can join, you can fight as well, but it's done on an individual level. We can't agree on the fight. You're a fighter, I'm a fighter, we're all fighters, and we're all fighting with our own methods, be it love. And when I say fighter, people, will say, oh, we shouldn't fight. I can agree, but we're playing with words. You know, if you fight for love, there's those situations where you could just give in or walk away or just feel sad or let it, but you know that you have to stand up and be brave, be courageous and say something righteously, good, from the heart, with love, with everybody in mind, and you have to deliver it with conviction so that people hear, and if they don't hear, you have to say it louder with like a trumpet voice. You know, that's what fighting's about. It's not about hurting people. It's about having a cause that you will stand up for and use the force of nature to get nature back to harmony, you know. But really, there's no point in like hypothetically trying to work out how to save the planet and wake everybody up and get everybody to see it your way. And most of the people have stopped thinking. They've stopped contemplating, they've stopped researching, because a lot of people think they already know how the world is corrupt and how the government's corrupt, and all we need to do now is wake enough people up. There is no strength in numbers like that. You have to show individual conviction. If you've just got a crowd of people together that are all saying the same thing, how do you know which one of them's the real one? Are you getting my point? Now, I'm trying to give you things to think about. When I get asked questions, how do you get government back? How do you get it back? These are big questions, and I've got a lot of different types of approaches, and I hope to find the time on some videos to go into them approaches. But I want to see people first thinking about the idea that it's your government, that it's our government, that it's my government, that it's a governance in the mind, that the state is a state of being. You might think I'm just playing on words, but just think about those words a little bit and ask yourself, is that not the obvious only answer? Do you really think the system would set itself up for a massive fight if it wasn't ready for that fight, and that it knew that when you started fighting for your life against the government, that you would just stub your toe and realise and laugh at yourself, because all the time you was fighting your own head, your own idea, the ideas that you've, like, you know, just got out of books and stuff, and those ideas were useful, but it's up to you to piece them together. It's not what others think a book means. It's not what others think words mean. It's not what others think, you know, this law or legislation means. It's what you think it means. And if you're wrong, then you're wrong. But if you feel you're more right than any of those other answers, maybe you should consider your answer. I don't know if I'm making any sense. And I don't know if it's windy on the mic, I'll just move across a bit. You know, don't know if I'm making any sense. I just come out for these walks, I try and share what I'm thinking. It is important to me, and sometimes I think I should write things down, get it into a presentation and stuff, or do some hangouts. But until I've got this feeling in my heart that certain ideas are coming across, then I'm still looking, I'm still searching for how to communicate it. You know, because people are, you know, like I said before, you know, if you stop hating, then you start to see it clearly. And then people have written comments, you know, I hate the government still, you know, I really hate the government. Well, okay, just hate it as much as you want on the outside, but don't let that hate eat you up on the inside. This is what you've got to start to understand, is don't act like you think all the time. Because sometimes, you know, you'd probably be wrong in your thoughts, and then acting like that would be then, you know, you're better off just... And like I say, you know, don't presume things to be evil. But that doesn't mean to say you can act how you like. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just trying to pass it on to you so that you can get some clarity. Because we've all been tricked with these systems, these ancient systems. I don't know whether they've been made by aliens or wise men or whatever, but it's a pretty amazing system. And if you think it's just a load of corrupt people, it's not. It's really not. It's bigger than just your language or your nation. It is a big thing. I can guarantee it. And you know, it's just a waste of time trying to go against it. You know, so it needs another plan. If anyone else has got a better plan other than handing out leaflets about anarchy or whatever. But until then, you know, I can see an option, and it's the only option I can see. Okay, just think, contemplate, turn a lot of those thoughts around. You don't need to abandon your opinions, just take on different opinions and start to add up which opinions makes more sense to me. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Alright there, folks. You know, fucking sound like a preacher. I'm just trying to share information. You know, it's really frustrating. I'd love to just say more, but we're in a public domain, you know, and I could say something that gets misunderstood by so many people. So, like, just make sure you do enough thinking so that Alright then. I'll try and share more with you and, you know. Okay, and I'll see you in the next video.